What's going on, you bunch of savages? First off, I found something out interesting this week. Me and my friends have not been able to get the replay mechanic to work for offline play. None of us could. I even Googled online. There was nothing online, stuff like that. The only thing we could find is and the only thing we could get to work was the online, not the offline. But my goddaughter was over here. She likes playing, and she even made a character with Lucky Chloe because she likes that. So she wanted to play the computer, so I went in and set the I set up the things because when we play Tekken night, we play with no time limit. We actually play until the person's done in each round. But when I set it, I didn't realize that it was like if you set it for 80 seconds or above, you can't use the replay factor. I didn't even know that, and me and my friends couldn't get anything to work because we all play like that. But yeah, we found out that we set it to 60 seconds, and now we can actually use the replay for offline play. That's freaking awesome. We've been very much enjoying that. It was really cool. We thought it was only for online play, but yeah, man, that's been so much fun to use. But anyway, let's move on. Okay, so this has been an interesting couple of weeks, hasn't it? Well, the one thing I want to give out the biggest props to is everybody's been talking about the big Kazuya buff to where his Hell Sweep tracks now. Michael Murray, I want to say first off, that was the most brilliant chess move I've seen so far that happens. And I'm not talking about the actual just buffing of the move. That has nothing to do with that. Because who the fuck asked for a Hell Sweep to get buffed? Nobody, right? No, this was the second you did that. I was already 3 to 4 moves ahead, and I was getting excited because I knew exactly what this would lead to. And that's what I was talking about in my last video, that this would start actually leading to the right conversations to get people in the right mindset. Michael Murray, it was the most, you don't even realize it, but as soon as you did that, I knew how brilliant of a move, and I was already excited of what was going to happen next. And exactly the way I already saw it. I already knew what was going to happen, and it panned out exactly the way it should have. What was so brilliant about him doing that? Not the move. That is the buff was probably one of the most unnecessary things we've ever had. No, but this had to happen. Why? Because what it did is it forced the entire Tekken community to finally start focusing on the gameplay of Tekken and the players, not the characters anymore. Because the Hell Sweep goes all the way back to Tekken 1. It's probably one of the first moves that were programmed in the game. It is the core of strategy of the game. And what did that do? It started leading to the right conversations. And it started leading to people starting to pay attention that this game is about strategy. It's about the players. It's not about the characters. And people are starting to actually finally say, we've been focusing too much on characters. And it was brilliant. As soon as he did that, Michael Murray, you got everybody, not even realizing it, everybody to start thinking in the right direction. And I have been excited, and I have been enjoying the show. It's been one of the most brilliant things I've seen. But another interesting thing that's been happening in the last couple months is I've been over this, where I told you that I've developed this odd skill of being able to read people's subconscious through through social media. I'm going to give you all an example because this theme will come up later in this video, and it's very important so that we're all on the same page. There's this thing called mirroring. And, okay, so here is the definition of, mirroring from, this is actually from an FBI agent. This is one of the things that he talks about mirroring. It says, okay, mirroring is just the simple repetition of 1 to 3 words, 1 to 3-ish words. Typically, it's the last 3 words. But when you get good at mirroring, you can pick 1 to 3 words from anywhere in the conversation. The person feels listened to. It tends to connect the thoughts. Okay, part of the message it sends to the other person is, I heard every word you said, word for word. All right, now if you put mirroring, you just go to Google, put mirroring body language, and you'll get a bunch of different things. But one of the things is mirroring body language is a nonverbal way to say, I am like you, I feel the same. Also, mirroring the person's body language, speak patterns is the most one of the most powerful ways to build rapport quickly. All right, I'm going to add to this. Also, mirroring is also when women find another man, find a man attractive, they'll mirror him. When friends are interested in some of the same things that somebody else is talking about, they'll mirror him. It's usually the thing that you're interested in the most, and the thing that dominates what you're thinking about the most. You'll actually mirror that thing. So it goes deeper than just the surface stuff I have. This is just an example, but I have noticed that what has surprised me is looking out into the YouTube world. The YouTube world is a lot smaller than everybody thinks it is, and there has been a lot. There's been a lot of people watching the scenario that's playing out with, like, Michael Murray, Namco, me, some of the other Tekken, the Tekken community, and some of the other personalities. It's been panning out, and a lot of people have been paying attention to it, a lot more than y'all even realized. And I've picked up on this and noticed it, and it's been fascinating to see. So, yeah, just know that there's a bigger audience who's paying attention to this, don't even care about Tekken, but have been watching this whole thing pan out because they want to see what happened. Here's an example of somebody who has a cool name like Jeremy, but does movie reviews. I wonder who he's talking about here.
And it doesn't stop there. Among all the other characters in here, it's the hypocrisy, the finger pointing, the self-righteousness among these adult children. And really, the show is a cautionary tale of letting those feuds and escalation get out of control, and do not let that happen. And I think the reason myself and a lot of other people couldn't take our eyes off of this thing is because we see it all the time. You see it on Twitter. It's like, oh, this person tweeted at me, so I'll make a YouTube video about that tweet, and that person makes a YouTube video about the YouTube video. I mean, I see this shit on YouTube all the time. Maybe the logistics are different. It's not people who own zoos. Maybe they're not doing super shady things like what's going on in this show. I suppose it's because that's human nature, you know? It is a subculture. Anytime there's a subculture, you have pockets and cliques. Anytime you have cliques, you now have tribes. Anytime you have tribes, you have tribal warfare. That's just what people do. We drive it there. So I see this as a cautionary tale. It's like, don't let it get here, you know? Don't let it get out of control. Truth is stranger than fiction. It's among all these people who they're schemers. Schemers trying to control their little worlds.
Another shout out I'd like to give out is to Geeks and Gamers and John Talks. Hey, John Talks, this shit's cool about the reading the subconscious, isn't it? But I want to give you guys a shout out, and anybody who finds like the Kathleen Kennedy stuff interesting, I usually got all the information from them. They do really good work. You guys have helped me a lot watching you, and the research y'all did help me out with Tekken. So just because you guys helped me out, I'm actually going to help you guys out. Kathleen Kennedy has a dark secret that she doesn't want anybody to know, but her subconscious has actually plastered it for the entire world to see, but nobody's even caught up on it. I know what it is because I know what I'm looking at and looking for. I'll make a video after this one to help you guys out because y'all have done so much good work, and you guys are cool, smart, but you guys help me out with the Tekken stuff because I was watching the information you got. I'm going to help you guys out. I'll make another video. Don't worry, I'll probably do it this week. It'll be really short. It's like 5 to 10 minutes. But yeah, I'm going to let y'all in on the secret of Kathleen Kennedy. And I'm going to forewarn you, that woman is awkward and her secret is fucking weird. But all the things that haven't made sense in Star Wars will instantly start to make perfect sense as soon as I share it with you. And all I'm going to do is do it like 5 to 10 minutes, but I wanted another separate video just for you guys because of all the cool work that y'all do. But yeah, I'll do that. Oh yeah, and one more shout out, Trey Smith, I just watched your video a couple days ago. I didn't know it dropped like 2 months ago because YouTube sucks and I didn't get the notification. But yeah, I'm going to email you soon about some cool Jesus stuff and we can nerd out about that stuff. But yeah, there's a lot more people paying attention to this whole thing going down than you guys realize. But moving on back to Tekken, I was talking about chess, but I'm going to let y'all know that there are 2 games that you can play that will make you better at Tekken. And those 2 games are chess and poker. And they apply to Tekken. I'm going to explain this. Okay, when I was growing up, when I was a little boy, my papa told me, and he didn't tell me why, he just said, Jeremy, I'll never forget it. He was like, Jeremy, chess is the only game that will make you smarter. And that's all he said. So I wanted it. I wanted to be smart. I wanted wisdom, and I was curious, and I became obsessed with chess. And I kept playing my papa, and he kept destroying me. So growing up, I just kept playing it, complaining it. And then when I went in the Marine Corps and I went on deployment, there was this guy, a friend I've got. His name's Victor Markic. He's Albanian, and he was badass at chess. And by the way, put up a prayer request for him. His father got the virus, so any prayer guys out there, just put a prayer up for his father. But anyway, Market and me played when we were on deployment. It was a 6-month deployment, and he destroyed me. But halfway through the deployment, we played this one game of chess. I'll never forget it because it took forever, and I finally beat him. He never beat me after that. And we played the rest of the time, the rest of the months, and I continued to slaughter. I came home and I started beating everybody. And I caught the concept of chess. And then I finally realized what my papa was talking about, and he was right. It did make me smarter. Because what chess does is when you're playing it, you have to be 3 to 4 moves ahead. And every single move, you have to have a plan of what you're going to do. But you're not the only one playing the game. There's somebody else who also has a plan that's 3 to 4 moves ahead. That's thinking 3 to more moves ahead too. And you have to understand their plan. You have to have a plan 3 to 4 moves ahead, and they have a plan 3 to 4 moves ahead. And you have to see and figure out what their plan is to know if you can block it, if you can attack. And one move can change both of your plans. And you have to be able to adapt, but you have to think about the future. And what it does is it programs your mind to start thinking like that in life. You can see things before they happen because you know the cause and effect of one move and being a couple steps ahead, the plans that you got, and then the person that you're playing in chess or in life, you have to understand their plan. And, okay, so when I first got Tekken, I was this close to dropping the game. And I remember when it came out, my brother was the more excited one for me to get it. So I went out and I got it. And I almost dropped it because I was beating the fuck out of him and everybody. It was just too easy. Because Kazuya had this thing called the Rising Sun Kick. It was the first original hop kick. But it looked like he did a hop kick, but he shot like so far in the air, it looked like he would like jump over the person. But it crushed everything. So anytime anybody got near me, I just do the Rising Sun Kick. We couldn't exactly get the uppercuts to work, but I could get the twin pistons to work. So anytime anybody got near me, I was just beating the shit out of them because I would just do that and it would crush everything. I started to get bored because me and my brother have always been even in every single fighting game that we played. Except for that one, it was just getting easy. And I remember it was the day I was about to drop it, I was like, I just beat the shit out of him again. I was just like, I'm bored with this. Fuck this game. I thought it. I didn't say anything. I was just like, this is boring. It's too easy to win. Well, my brother, same day, same night, grabs the game and the PlayStation and takes it in his room. He stays in there all afternoon. Didn't sleep that night and all night. He just came out to get something to eat, grabbed a burrito, went back to his room and just played. And I was just out watching TV. Didn't sleep that night. He came out the next day and he said, Jeremy, let's play again. I was like, all right, fuck it. He comes in and starts doing all the fucking moves, all the 10 hits, all the things that we couldn't do before. And that we had already unlocked Tiachi, and he was doing the uppercuts, he was doing 10-hit juggles and stuff like that. And I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. What the fuck? Dude, how are you doing all that shit? And what he did, what he found out, is he found out that the game was about timing. It wasn't exactly about speed. And you got to realize that back in that time, all other fighting games were about speed. Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, they were about how fast you could hit the button, how fast you could do something. This was the first time it was a concept of timing, and sometimes you had to slow it down. Even when you're doing an uppercut or an electric, even though the electric is fast, you have to go forward, neutral, stop, down, diagonal in the button. You actually have to plan it out. Even though it's fast, you still have to plan it out, because you have to stop in the middle of the move. It was timing. It was a concept that we were not used to, and after that I became obsessed, because you had to plan out your moves. And the other person has to plan out their moves. It was chess. It was not about speed. And there was like turbo buttons back in the day, because you had to hit the button so fast that you hit a turbo and it do the speed for you. No, Tekken was about timing. And since then, it's the one game that me and my brother has stood the test of time. We both were good at Mortal Kombat. I had the edge at Mortal Kombat. He had the edge at Street Fighter. But we were both good and we could hold our own against each other. But Tekken is the one we were dead even, and it's held its own even to this day. Since Tekken day one. Okay, so this is chess, right? Now, you got your pieces that move certain ways, correct? Okay. You got movement, take pieces, and stuff like that. That's what chess is about, right? Okay, now check this out. Okay, you got your king and a queen. Now, like, she can move like this, like that, like that, like that, like that. King can do the same thing. Move, 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 move. Right? Move, move. What happens? And that's how you play chess. Now, what happens when you look at it like this? What is that right there? That is Tekken. Because if you took Tekken, because Tekken's, you see it from the side, but if you took Tekken and you looked at it from above, how do they move? Like this. Right? All Tekken is a high-speed game of chess where it takes skill to actually move the pieces. But it is chess. Okay, another game that'll help you out when it comes to winning at Tekken, and the strategy would be poker. And I'm going to demonstrate that by showing an example with the movie James Bond Casino Royale. Okay, now watch this part and listen to what James Bond says about playing the game.
So you're telling me it's a matter of probability and odds? I was worried there was some chance involved.
Well, any of you assume the player with the best hand wins.
So that will be what you call bluffing.
You've heard the term. Then you'll also know that in poker you never play your hand. You play the man across from you.
And you're good at reading people.
Yes, I am.
Okay, you see what he said there? It isn't about what cards you're holding. The important part about poker is reading the person you're playing. So sometimes it has nothing to do with the cards that are in your hand. Okay? Now, examples like this, like, with body language, communication is 90%, right? So you can't get this from online. But offline play, when you're sitting beside somebody, there are so many subconscious cues that are being given off, right? So you can almost feel like the person's energy when they're confident or when they're insecure and stuff like that, and that helps with momentum shifts. That's why players like Anakin put on poker faces, because they don't want to give anything away to their opponent, and he's downloading what his opponent's feeling, which actually helps him in the match. Anakin's one of my favorite American players. That dude's cool as fuck. Jimmy J does the same thing. The top players always have poker faces because they don't want to give anything away from their opponent, but they are. And Eris even talks about this, is that when you're sitting beside somebody and if they got a loud stick, you can listen for slaps of the button to get counter hits. One of my favorite Tekken players, and a dude I totally love to fucking hang out with because we have a lot of the same thoughts and philosophy, is Ryan Hart. Ryan Hart even talks about when he would go to tournaments, he would try to see which side his opponent liked to sit on. And what he would do is he'd find out which that was and then say he didn't give a fuck what side he played on. But what he would do is try to find out what side and he would play rock, scissors, paper, scissors to get their side. It's just a mental game, and it's just adding to the strategy of what they're doing, which it works. Now, okay, so let me show you some other things with Casino Royale. Now, this is strategy when you're playing somebody. Like, there's a scene that comes up where James Bond notices that the bad guy has a twitch in his eye. He notices that he has a twitch in his eye. He plays out the round just to find out to see if the dude was bluffing.
Bet 50,000. Call. Bet 200,000. Monsieur, you have been called. Shoot down, please. A full house to Monsieur Le Chiffre. Deuce is full of nines. Mr. Bond? Fold.
It was worth it to discover his tell.
What do you mean?
The twitch he has to hide when he bluffs,
Bluffs. You have the best hand.
which he got on the last card. The odds against were 23 to 1, and he'd know that. When he did his first raise, he had nothing. Winning was blind luck.
What he was doing is he was downloading his opponent, and he was saving that for later. He knows that when he had that twitch, he now knows that person's bluffing. But he got betrayed, and this is also part of strategy, that his buddy told the bad guy that he had a twitch in his eye, that he was bluffing. The bad guy used that against James Bond and put a twitch in his eye when he wasn't bluffing. This is strategy. You can use this type of stuff in Tekken, and he uses it to wipe out James Bond. And James Bond has to buy in later. But later he finds out that twitch he has is subconscious. So he even though he tricked James Bond once, he can't do it again. At the very end of the game, James Bond is holding all the cards. James Bond is holding cards where he knows he can win. Right? That guy raises him. James Bond looks in his eyes and makes sure that he's not bluffing. James Bond knows he can beat this guy, but the other guy thinks he can beat James Bond. And he uses that against him, and he knows I could take this whole thing, so he goes all in, forcing him to go all in, and he wins the whole thing. James Bond got inside his head and ended up downloading him and forcing him to do what he wanted, and it was all worth it because he lost one hand at the beginning. It was worth it. That happens in chess too, where top players will sacrifice a piece to get an advantage on their opponents. And I see this all the time where example, like a lot of successful Tekken players like to play it safe, right? And we've seen this in tournaments and stuff like that. They talk about it all the time. But that doesn't always work, because who comes along? Then somebody like Jahns comes along. And why was he so successful? Why? Because that dude took calculated risk, and he fucked up everybody's safe gameplay, because he would do the hell sweep, which is a risky move. If he guesses wrong, half his life's gone. But what he did is he would hit them with it, and they were so scared of his hell sweep that Jahns kept taking the safest players and forcing them to duck so he could do the wall rising 2 with Devil Jin. And he almost won the Tekken World Tour twice because he was not afraid to take risks. This is part of the mind games of Tekken, and this is how it works. And poker is also a way that that shows that you're playing against a player, not a character. You're playing against a player, and it's a mind game between the two. And you're downloading them and seeing how they react and stuff like that. Okay, I'm going to show you an example of mind games, and I'm going to use Kazuya, but you can basically use this kind of concept with anybody. But I promise you, if you try the stuff that I'm talking about today, even today it'll work. But there's so many different ways to do mind games in Tekken, but we have to start somewhere. This just picture this as like your first building block, and I'm sure now that I'm showing how to break it down, there'll be other like influencer Tekken YouTube influencers who will be able to break it down even more and give you different pieces of the puzzle. Okay, this move right here. I've been getting away with this move forever, and there's a reason behind it. One, not many people have used the move much, and it wasn't brought up much, so I was able to sneak this move in a lot. Also, even if they do know about it, it's psychological, because about every... and it's easier to learn a habit than it is to break a habit, right? So, all of Kazuya's lows come from his legs, basically. Right? And typically, all of his highs and mediums come from his upper body. So, when an opponent faces a Kazuya, they know that if he moves his upper body at all, it's usually going to be a higher medium, so they just stand block. The only time they have to worry about ducking is if they see his lower body move, right? So, except for one move, and that's this one. He moves his shoulders first, and that's why everybody gets stuck there like a deer in headlights, because they're so used to like something like this coming, and then when they see his shoulders roll and go down, they just stand there and take it because they're expecting to block higher medium. So while I'm playing, and you do this too, is use that to your advantage. What I do is I don't abuse this move. I just sprinkle it in there as a free little chip away, right? I'll do that, and then later I'll go to his other lows. And maybe much, much later I'll do it again. And then sometimes you'll get lucky and get a counter hit. But when you get that counter hit, that's when they actually start thinking, oh shit, I really need to look out for this, because nobody's really programmed themselves to look for that animation, because most Kazuya players don't use it, right? But when they do, because if you're playing somebody and you keep hitting them with this low, and especially if you get a launcher on them, what's going to happen? Eventually, they're going to adapt, right? You want this to happen, okay? Because let's say I'm playing somebody and I'm sprinkling this in, and let's say I get a counter hit and I know it hurt them. Took like, and if there's a wall, I took like half their life, right? Now they're looking for it. And the moment when I see that I sprinkle it in there and they duck and they block it, then usually what I'll do is I'll like, let me try that again. So I'll do the move again, and if they react to it and they duck it and they punish me, I just now program them to do what I want. I'm going to take that information, I'm going to put it in my back pocket. Okay? So let's say that I'm in trouble, or I could win a round at a certain time, right? I know if I get one launcher, I could win a round. Or if I'm in rage or something like that and I really need a way to get out. I now know that they are used to this animation, right? So what I did is I put that back in my back pocket and I waited for them to adapt. And now I know they're going to adapt to it. So what happens, and I only pull this out now when I need it. Like, let's say I can end a round and it's only like so much life I would need to take it off and I can win the round. So I know he's going to duck when he sees the animation. So what do? I just programmed him. I didn't download him. I didn't download him or anything like that. What I actually did is I programmed this player to do what I wanted to because I know he would adapt. I was already a couple moves ahead. And you can apply this, and this is part of the strategy of Tekken. And you can actually start applying it. Kazuya players, you can actually start applying this concept today as one of your first building blocks of mind games, of getting inside people's heads. And I'm also going to show you an example of Knee doing this exact same thing with Paul. Check this out. Okay, now watch what Knee does in this very particular section. Watch him chip away with these lows right here. Peck, and he just does a couple pecks. Chip, 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 whiff punish, right? Okay, that actually was a setup for later down the road. Because watch what he does here. This is like a minute later, and what Knee does is he gets a counter hit off that same low and launches him. Okay, now Knee knows that this guy's going to respect his lows, and he's going to duck. Boom. Boom. And he gets him to duck again. Bam. See, what Knee actually did there, he wasn't guessing right there. What he did is he forced his opponent to adapt. This is advanced mind games in Tekken. He got inside his head and it was already a move ahead. What he did is he chipped away, chipped away, chipped away. When he got that counter hit, Knee knew then this guy's going to respect my lows. His next move, obviously and wisely, would be to duck because I'm going to try to hit him again with a low. Bam, bam. And then he got him to duck again because the guy was so worried about getting hit with that low because it hurt. It was a chip, 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 a big bang, and then he knew he was already a move ahead, knowing the guy was adapt, and he used him adapting to finish the round off. This is advanced skill. This is what Tekken's about. It's about these type of mind games. It's about playing chess. It has nothing to do with the characters because that match was release Leroy. That was before any of his patches. And Knee's just taking out the trash, just using his smarts and his mind games. Now this is the foundation. Now this out here, and when you strip everything away and all the characters and the frames and stuff like this is what you find at the core. These are the type of mind games that the pros use, and it has nothing to do with the characters. These are the type of chess moves that they're playing, and this is the foundation and what Tekken is actually about. And another thing I'd like to add is the momentum. Whoever has the momentum is the one who's in charge of doing the mix-ups and the 50-50. Whoever has the momentum is the one who's off on offense, and you have to stop their offense if you want to be part of it. If you want to have the mix-ups, I've never seen it more momentum brilliantly shown in a video than by this one video by DamageXcaling. He does amazing work, but he did a video where he mapped out and showed momentum change with one of Cherry Berry Mango's matches. I'm going to link this in the description so you can watch it, where he actually shows and breaks down how important momentum is, and whoever's at the lead is the one actually in charge of the match. And if you have somebody who's pressuring you, you need to break their momentum and you take over the momentum. And that's how Neat did this. And this is just, there's just so many things with mind games that we need to break it down section by section. You got to start somewhere. And another good video to reference is Little Majin did one talking about the boring king player. Now, he called him boring because the guy just used basic juggles. Just simple, not that they were just simple, that did good damage. It wasn't the craziest, but he took Little Majin down and outplayed him by just doing regular juggles. Nothing fancy, he just used his smarts and his mind game. And that's one thing that I absolutely love about Little Majin. Now, he's still one of my favorite, he probably is one of my favorite American Tekken players. Him, Anakin, Jimmy J, yeah, those guys are like the top. But what I like about Little Majin is, okay, yeah, he says some controversial things sometimes, but what I like about Little Majin is he actually learns from his mistakes and he's confident in his own abilities. What he says at that video is, I'm going to post this on YouTube because I'm learning from it and everybody else can learn from it. That's what I fucking love about that dude. So, yeah, that's a good one to watch, to see that this isn't about just the characters or execution. It's actually the chess match that's the most important. That's what's going to win you. That's what's going to win you the more games in the long run. And these are the type of things that are going through the minds of these pros. And now that I'm showing how to break it down, I'm sure they're going to make more videos breaking it down even more, so that you find out that this game is about chess and outsmarting your opponents. Okay, and here's the life cycle of a Tekken player, right? You come in, you start having fun with the game, you find it fascinating. You have fun with your friends, beginner level, you win a couple rounds, and then you start to realize that this game, holy shit, this is really difficult. If you want to be good at it, you have to really put in the work for it and stuff like that. And also, you have growing pains where you start to think, well, it's overwhelming, some of this stuff isn't fair and stuff like that, until you actually start to learn it. And it takes a while to get to a place where you're at the mindset where you understand these concepts, where it's just about, it's about the players and stuff like that, that this is chess, that the game is fair, that it is balanced and stuff like that, and but you have to do a lot of homework to get there. There's nothing wrong with that, because that will help you out in life. And it takes a while, but eventually you do get there. And then you look back and the cycle starts over. New players come in and they struggle and stuff like that, and you encourage them to get better and stuff like that, and they will reach a certain point. That's the cycle of Tekken. We all understand that. But the cycle has been broken lately, and this is like where the problem has come in. Okay, so I said in my last video that I was going to throw a bone out to help, like Michael Murray and Namco, to show y'all exactly how you can fix this. Now, the way I was able from the beginning to tell you and predict that you would get to a point, and I said this months ago, you would get to a point to where there would be so much complaining, you put yourself in a situation where you can't win. No matter what you do, it's going to be nothing but complaining. I said this months ago, and here we are. The reason I was able to do that is because of the way I think and the skill sets I use with chess. Is when I see a move, I see how I know what the reaction of it's going to be, of what it will be down the road. That's how I'm able to do these things, but I also know the moves it would take to get it on the right track. But so Michael Murray, this part's for you. Let's it doesn't matter what anybody thinks or agrees or disagrees with you. Let's hear the story from your perspective, from your side, right? Okay, you come into the game, you're excited, you love this game, you're passionate about it, you've been with Rada this entire time, you have ideas. You want to see the game grow. You want to see it get. You want to see it get better than it's ever been. You've been listening to the Tekken community. You want to implement the things, and you're excited to do that. You know Harada's going out the door to somewhere else, and when you're taking off, you're excited because you want to give back to the community. Is that right? But what happened is you listened and everything started to go to shit. And the vision that you had, nobody's understanding that. Is that right? That you feel like you're being attacked. There's nothing you can do that's right. And now it's just a frustrating scenario. Is that right? Well, I want to help because, okay, I want to ask a question. Because it's painfully obvious that you listened when I was suggesting things for Fuck You Mon about taking certain things out, and it's just looking at the design of the character, it's obvious that you listened. Ask the question, why did you listen to me? All right, you already know the answer, even if it's subconscious. I know the answer because we both know that I'm here to help, and we have the same vision in mind to make the game better. Okay, when you listen to the Tekken community, there was, Michael, there were some things that you didn't know you were sideswiped with that you don't understand. I'm going to actually show you what those things are. It's going to help you understand, and I'm going to help you look under the hood and show you why everybody is so angry and why you can't win right now, because you were actually led astray in a situation that you didn't know everything about. I'm going to show that, explain it to you so that everybody can now start getting on the same page, because we all want the same goal. We want the game to be at its best. But the way I'm going to accomplish this is we're going to take a look at my biggest fan. Did you guys know that the main man, Adrian, is my biggest fan? Yep, he sure is. Okay, so when I first saw this video pop up, I was like, that's interesting. I watched a couple minutes, and I was like, Adrian's butthurt about something. Like, well, that's interesting. The video I had before this was about you, Michael Murray. It had nothing to do with Adrian. So I watched just a couple minutes of his other videos. I downloaded his subconscious, which is very easy to do, actually. And I figured out what he was actually mad about. And I was like, oh, he got butthurt about that little skit about the main man fans. And the part when I did a skit with Michael Murray. And I was looking at him, and I was like, and Michael Murray, it was just a joke where I was like, he was like, the only reason you're winning is because your character is cheap. And I was like, no, the reason you're losing because you suck. I was like, well, that's the part that Adrian took personally. I was like, oh, I get it. Let's clear that up right quick. Let's clear a couple things up real quick about that, though, Adrian. First off, that section wasn't directed at you. And I made that clear. Also, the part where I said I actually give a fuck about the Tekken community and all these little savages, I actually meant that. I like them. I like everybody, even if they're being ding-dongs, because I know that this game is a growing curve. I mean, it's a learning curve, and you grow in it, so I didn't mind. Another thing is, if that made you butthurt, you need to get some thicker skin, bro, because I sure as hell ain't going to walk on eggshells for you or anybody. I roast my enemies, and I roast my friends even more. And, but that isn't the main reason he made this video. This is where it gets really interesting. And see, normally I would ignore something like this, but since he brought it up, this is going to make things easier. And, Michael, pay attention. This is actually to help. I want you to watch this. One, Adrian, I'm going to teach you a lesson. And then I'm going to teach, in the same process, I'm going to teach the entire Tekken community a lesson. And I'm going to show Michael Murray what's under the hood, why everybody's so angry. And I'm going to accomplish all this because you made this video. All right, the first lesson I'm going to teach you is I've been taking it easy on you because I like you. And you have potential. but you started to become a problem. So I'm going to teach you a lesson and show you that I've been taking it easy on you. But don't worry, I'm still going to take it a little easy on you, but I'm not going to ignore this. Why? Because it's a learning experience for everybody in the Tekken community. All right, Tekken community. Everything I just showed you when it comes to chess, when it comes to Tekken, when it comes to the mind games, all right? I'm going to show you how you can use those skills and that mindset, not just to win at like chess and poker and Tekken. You can actually use those skills that I showed you and use them in life to take down a real opponent. Because what you practice in life actually becomes your subconscious and actually how you becomes part of your personality. Because the main reason that Adrian did this, and get this, this is straight up what he was actually thinking when he was doing this. Adrian, how does Adrian, he is actually trying to nerf me. That's right, he's trying to nerf me, because what does Adrian do when he runs into a character that he has a hard time with? He builds a case against them and tries to get them nerfed so he can win. This is his mindset in Tekken, and this is actually transferred over into his mindset in life. But Adrian, it doesn't work like that in Tekken, and it doesn't work like that in real life, kid. And yes, I'm calling you a kid because you've been acting like a spoiled little brat lately. But the way I approach the game and life actually works, and I'm going to show you. And let's go over this, okay? So I'm going to show y'all something. I've been talking about this this show, Lie to Me, right? Now, the show's fictional, but the science behind it is real, based off a real guy. All right, check this out. So, at the very beginning of the show, it's very interesting. He's in an interrogation with this one dude who's been instructed by his lawyer not to say anything. And all he's doing is asking him questions because he's looking for a bomb at a church or something like that. And he's just going off of his body language. And this is where it gets interesting, because it switches over to a classroom and he explains how this works.
We're going to skip that one. We're going to focus on Lawton. You feel good about it? That's it, Lawton. Going after a church in Lawton.
That accusation has no basis.
What do you mean? You just told me. The ATF found a pipe bomb in a church basement in Lawton an hour later.
Reaction to my statement.
Right now, ATF is searching every inch of the two largest black churches in the state. Now, what you just saw there was a brief expression of happiness on his face, which he was trying his best to conceal. It lasted for less than a fifth of a second as what we call a micro-expression. Now, look at his mouth. The suspect is secretly happy about the locations we are searching, which tells me we have the wrong locations. Now I tell him of our new plan, and...
I know what you're talking about.
Classic one-sided shrug. Translation, I have absolutely no confidence in what I just said. The body contradicts the words. He's lying. Now, I call out that his target is actually Lawton, and... watch it again. Concealed scorn.
Don't these micro-expressions vary depending on the person?
Let's leave this up, and we'll go to the Kato Kalin footage from the OJ trial.
Mr. Kalin, you got a lot of money for your appearance on Current Affair, didn't you?
Yeah. Scorn. Scorn. Huge scorn. Shame, shame, and shame. Contempt. These expressions are universal. Emotion looks the same whether you're a suburban housewife or a suicide bomber. The truth is written on all our faces.
And see, what makes this interesting is I know how to do this by studying and practicing this for years. I know how to do this kind of thing in real life. But I've also learned how to do it through the filter of social media, which has been extremely fascinating. And so, Adrian, I downloaded you a long time ago, and I've had you in my back pocket this entire time, just in case you pull some bullshit like this. See, I was giving you a chance to course correct and do what's right. And just like in poker, I'm holding the cards to take you down. And all I'm doing is saying check, 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 and hoping that you'll get on the right side. But you decided to go a different route because this is what you're used to, this is how you normally win things, but now it's time to stop that shit. So let's take a look at one of the videos where you respond to me, shall we? But actually, right before we jump into that, I want to bring this point up. And this is where it gets important. This is the important part. This is the important part of why I'm doing this whole thing. Okay, so Michael Murray, we all know where you got the ideas for season 3. Because it's painfully obvious when Adrian did a wish list. Now look at this wish list. What happened? Everything that happened on this wish list. We know it. Even he knows it. This is why this is important of why I'm doing this. Okay, now let's go and check out this video. Okay, I want you to watch this part. All right, in this part, I'm talking to Adrian, and I tell him, don't lie and don't cover up your mistakes anymore. And watch, Adrian actually agrees with me when I say, don't lie and don't cover up your mistakes anymore. Watch. Don't lie and don't cover up your failures anymore. Remember, you're not the only one who's going to learn from this stuff. Other people will learn from your mistakes, and it's okay to make these mistakes. He actually agrees with me about not lying. Now watch this other part, which is one of my favorite parts of this video. Like first off, man, I did that video over 3 months ago. And a lot has happened in the last 3 months. And you think that motherfucker just now saw that video? Hell no, he didn't just fucking see that video. I mean, he was Twitch acting. He saw that shit forever ago. And yes, well, anyway,
I hear a lot. People write Twitch acting a lot. Sorry, I don't spend. I spend some time on the internet, but not with Twitch memes. I guess that means you're acting on Twitch. You're pretending to do. I never do that, like, ever. And I did. That was my first time watching your video. That was my first time watching your video. That was my first time watching your video. That was my first time watching your video.
Okay, so did you notice when he said that was his first time seeing it? Okay, this is the part that we're both referring to right here. Check this out.
Right. Hello everyone on Twitch and YouTube. This is going to be an interesting video. This is a YouTube content creator called Jeremy Molyneux. Sorry if I didn't pronounce that correctly. It's kind of a tricky last name. I think that is his name at least. I will be linking this video below should I post it to YouTube. I'm not certain I will do so. But as you can see, the name of the video is Tekken 7 Season 3 Tier List Proven Worthless. We will be talking about how tier lists are inaccurate. I've only watched a few minutes of this. Mind you, the video, as you can see, is 1 hour and 11 minutes. It's very long. We're not going to watch all of it. And the reason I'm doing it...
You only watched a couple minutes of it? Okay, Adrian.
A response to this is because he mentions me a lot in this video, from what I've heard from others, and from what I have...
From what you only watched 5 minutes, but I mentioned you a lot, and from what you've seen and what you heard from other people. Okay.
Myself, what, 5 minutes I've watched of this.
5 minutes.
During the middle part, I watched some of it. So you'll be talking a lot about me.
You only watched 5 minutes of it during the middle part of it. Right, Adrian? Okay. Right? Okay, cool.
And my opinions of Jin Kazuma and Kazuya, and how he disagrees with me on a lot of the things I say about them. Very fundamentally, he feels I don't understand the character Kazuya or Jin. So it's very interesting.
Okay, so let's clear this up, make sure we're all on the same page. You only watched that video 5 minutes in the middle. You watched it because people suggested that I said a lot of things about you in the video, and it was just brought to your attention, and that's about the time that you watched it, and you never Twitch act, anything like that. Okay, that's cool. Interesting. Another interesting fact is the video that we're talking about, that tier lists are proven, that when I said tier lists are worthless, I posted that video on September 24th. All right? Not even within 24 hours. Same day, just hours later, Adrian posts this video. Akuma bandwagon starts. Character loyalty is dead in Tekken. It was both on September 24th. Now remember, there's a 6-hour time difference between me and Adrian. So, same day, just hours later after I posted this. But what's really interesting is in this video that Adrian posted, do you guys realize? Okay, the most important part of the video that I posted of tier lists are worthless is the beginning section where I talk about that and show how tier lists are worthless. It's the most important part of the video. That is the exact section that Adrian left out and started his response to me right where that section ends, and then started a response. Do you guys realize that that entire first section that he posted hours after I dropped my video is him quoting me basically word for word this entire video of the first section of my video, which he posted hours later? Let's check it out and see if there's any coincidences here. Check this out. Posted same day within 24 hours, hours after mine. And this is the entire section that he left out of his response video to me. Check it out. Super Akuma, that's a no-brainer. The reason Cherry Berry Mango has not won a tournament is because of Super Akuma. Super Akuma made Akuma viable. Brings him to the top.
Super Akuma, that's the French Akuma player you see here. I'm holding my hand on his lap here and it feels good. Amazing player. Needs no introduction. I'm sure you know who he is. Just probably the guy who really put Akuma on the map.
It has nothing to do with the characters. It has everything to do with the players. Because in Season 2, from the beginning of Season 2, none of these characters have changed. Not one of them has changed. And interestingly enough, at the beginning of Season 2, these three were not on anybody's top 5 list. So what happened? She was actually dropped from the top tier when she was nerfed in Season 2. He was never there. Devil Jin was in his place, and nobody had Akuma up there. So what changed with these characters? Well, everybody knows why Kazumi's up there. Because Arslan Ass comes out of nowhere and beats the ever-living shit out of everybody using the techniques that he discovered, the techniques that he learned. And everybody sees what he's doing and showing how viable she was after everybody dropped her after her nerf in Season 2. And they start copying her styles. I mean, his style using her. Because it works.
And same thing with fucking Kazumi. Oh, Season 1, she's so strong. Season 2, forget about Kazumi, she's dead. How many top players didn't say that? And then fucking Arslan comes there and beasts everyone with Kazumi. And what do you see the next day after Evo Japan? He's playing Kazumi. Kokoma is playing Kazumi. Everyone's playing Kazumi suddenly.
Another interesting fact is what Nee actually says about Brian Fury, because everybody wants to know about his Brian Fury. So Key J asked him. This is what he says.
With Brian Fury in Tekken 7, do you think he's difficult in tournament?
Yes.
Okay. Why is that?
Tekken 7 is in tournament. Tournament character is example Steve, Kazumi, Keith, yeah, Jin, Low, Shaheen, yeah, any characters is low risk and high return and safe play, safe poking. But Brian is main skill is slowly. Yeah, maybe 16 frame and 23 frame.
Right.
Yeah, so always counter the two match in turn, two match is one mistake is lose. So I think long match is good, right? 2 and 3 match is difficult.
So Nee doesn't think that Brian should be in these top 5, or that he's viable, and other characters are viable in tournaments. But what was interesting about this very tournament, what happened a week before this interview? Wasn't Arslan Ash beat by Jimmy J using who? Brian Fury, right?
Does have a huge lead. Oh yes! Not anymore.
Oh! That is so good!
What a set! I'm not drinking no bathwater. Let's go, Jimmy!
Very nice. Anakin, and now Jimmy J. Tran. USA! USA!
Where everyone now feels like, oh, I gotta play Akuma. All of these top players picking up Akuma suddenly because he's the flavor of the day. Look at Naps. None of those guys could beat Arslan, but Naps made it work with Brian. Season 2 Brian. A character a lot of people just write off immediately when it comes to competitive play. Because he's so limited in punishment and poking. But Naps makes it work against Kazumi.
So, he's got Kazumi, Jin, Akuma, Steve, and Geese. These are his top 5, right? So, interestingly enough, is at that same weekend when he had that Evo, Nee makes it to the grand finals at Evo against Arslan Ash. So, when he makes it to the grand finals with his top 5 character picks, so which one of these 5s did Nee choose to face the opponent he's never beaten in a tournament? So Nee doesn't pick, I mean, this was his opinion of these top 5 characters, but he doesn't pick these top 5 characters. He picks Kazuya and Devil Jin.
Oh, Nee's probably sitting there thinking, how am I gonna beat Arslan Ash? And he tries Devil Jin, he tries Steve, he tries, well, insert all of the classic characters. He tried Kazumi. Well, he tried Kazuya as well. But now he tries Akuma. And what did Mr. Naps do? Jimmy. Who's been a character loyalist since what? Tekken 5 with Brian? He was the only guy to fucking beat Arslan Ash.
So, let me get this straight. Nee picks these top 5, doesn't use one of them against Arslan Ash in the grand finals, and the person that he doesn't think viable, his old name, beats Arslan Ash a week before.
Bear champion! Oh, he got him! It's not over. 15 seconds. Oh, he hit! Heaven's Gate the other side! Be careful, one more, he can end it here. Q-dance! Tsunami punish! We have an animal of a champion here. Oh, are they gonna kiss? Maybe. Wow, but it looked like they were about to kiss. First on Esports round 2. Oh, nice work. Our Tekken World Tour champion. Beautiful. Oh, does he have a nosebleed? Man, congratulations. So I gotta give it up. Wow. Amazing work by Forsan Rangchu.
I mean, no one would have guessed that he would be able to pull through here with that character against these opponents. He already snatched his trophy.
Yeah, man.
Give me that shit.
But yeah, I just wanted to rant a little bit on this. I just the whole thing pisses me off so much. And the tier whoring is just disgusting. I just can't even, I can't defend anyone's tier whoring.
Remember that thing I said about mirroring and body language and the subconscious? Pretty powerful stuff, isn't it, Adrian? Some pretty strong coincidences there, especially with the wording. Same day, hours later. And it's the exact section that you left out in your response to me. That's interesting. Another interesting thing is when I did a video, when I did the video on my apartment, you notice how Adrian had green screen for years? And soon after I did the video on my apartment, he changes his setup. This, people, is what mirroring is. And it's a sign of respect and where a person's interest is. Subconscious is very powerful and it gives away the clues of where your interest is. Adrian, I told you to stop lying, didn't I? Now this kind of stuff has been going on for months, and I'm not gonna have all the fun. I'll give you guys some credit of some things you can look up yourselves, like when I did the video showing how you can mash out the rolling death cradle with King, and how you can mash out all his throws. Immediately after that, who does Adrian use? He uses King. If I do a video where I mention I'm playing my buddy Chris and he's using Harangue, immediately after that, you can look by the dates. Adrian will start playing Harangue. In one of my last videos, I said I knew from the trailer that Leroy's stance was an auto low parry because my buddy Elliot was playing Lei and Anna, and they both have auto low parries from stance. Who does Adrian start playing immediately after that? Lei and Anna. These aren't coincidences. There's a lot of fucking coincidences going on there. No, this is where his focus is. And I'm not like the only one he focuses on and where he gets his information from. When Eris did his, when he checked out Fuck You Man. And it was after that that Adrian dropped his video on Fuck You Man. But it's interesting how he uses the exact same wording in the exact same opinion that Eris has on him. Adrian has on him, and he uses the exact same wording. He's been doing this forever. Even like a year or two ago when Eris had an opinion on how Fang is, Adrian had the exact same opinion with the exact same wording. Same with Jin. Same with Jin. He does, this is him. You fucking lying. And I bust you and I can show everybody when you're fucking lying. And for, okay, I'm going to tell y'all a little story time. I had this girlfriend years ago. This girl, she loved to argue. Now, at first, I didn't get it, and it was very frustrating because who the fuck wants to argue? But she would always start arguments with me, and it wasn't until after I realized, like, I have a tolerance level where I just, like, all right, that's enough. Let's stop fucking around. She knew where that line was, and she always went to it, and she jumped over it just to fucking get under my skin. And I knew she was doing it on purpose. She used to drive me crazy until I started realizing when I would get irritated and argue back with her, she was getting turned on. I was like, what the f? So she basically would argue with me because she liked the making up part. I was like, well, whatever. So I didn't mind arguing after that. But I did notice something, that when we would argue and we were arguing over text, I would destroy her with text message, on text messaging. But when I would see her in person and we would argue, she would destroy me in person. And I was like, what is going on? And it didn't take me long until I realized that she had, that what she was doing in person is she wasn't actually arguing with me. She had tactics of how she could argue with me when she was in person that she could not do over text messages, because I could slow things down and I could dissect it and just obliterate her. But what she would do, I found out, is what she would do, is if we were in an argument, she would ask me a question. I would go to answer it, but before I answered it, or while I was answering it, she would ask me another question, then another question. So I've got 3 fucking questions right there in front of me. And I'm sitting there with my tongue in the mouth, like, which one do I answer? She would give me that look like, oh, you ain't got nothing to say? Like that. Or if I would answer one, she'd be like, well, what about this and what about this? Oh, you don't have nothing to say? And I figured out what she was doing one day. So I was like, okay, this is interesting. Let's just have fun with this and see what I could do. So what I did is I took her tactic, used it against her, tried to stop her with some questions, and then what I would do is answer a question with a question, then do more questions. Now, for like a week I did that, and I won a couple arguments. It was fun. It was just good practice. But one day I just I just didn't feel like fucking dealing with it. I got over to her house, and she's lying on her bed, and she starts an argument immediately as soon as I walk in the door. And I was like, oh, fuck, here we go again. But she's laying on the bed. She just did that. She's looking up at me. She just asked me 3 questions. She got this look like, say something. I just remember, I was calm, cool as a cucumber, looked at her, turned down, sat on the bed beside of her, looked straight ahead, and I said, you know, I hate arguing with you because you've got these tactics. And even though I know what you're doing, you are so good at it, I can't stop you. And I turned in and looked at her, and her face went exactly like this. And then she hid under the covers, and I was like, and you know it, don't you? That girl was a fucking trip. Let's say, yeah, we started making up immediately after that. The argument was dropped. And ironically, we didn't have very many arguments after that. God, that girl was a trip, man. She still has some of the best one-liners I remember. Like, it was like, you know when you start dating somebody, you have to put on this front and you act all sweet and stuff like that until they actually start to get to know you, and then you're a bitch and it's downhill from there. We started off as friends, and you know from the beginning that I'm a bitch. So it's fun because I can be myself around you, and you still dated me anyway. It's like, well, yeah, you actually got an interesting point there. That girl was a fucking trip, man. That shit was funny. But anyway, that's not the point. The moral of the story is sometimes people are arguing with you, and it has nothing to do with facts. What they're trying to do is actually manipulate you. And see, Adrian, when he wants to have a character nerfed, he has tactics of how he actually does that. It has nothing to do with facts. And I'm going to share that with you today. And you can go and see it. Because he just did it. He just did it with Devil Jin, did it with All Wrong. But the Devil Jin one's the most recent one. I was just like, geez. But this is Adrian's tactics. He has tactics. He isn't arguing with you or anything like that. He doesn't have valid arguments. He just has tactics. This is what he does. What he will do is when he decides to take a character down, he will take that character, he will name off a couple moves. He will exaggerate all the strengths of the moves, say the frames that fit him the best, and then ignore all the weaknesses of the moves that make that move balanced. And then he'll put it together, and what he will do is he'll use his charisma, his charm and charisma, to get people to take his side, and then he will use keywords to label that character, and that in psychology is called anchoring. He will take words like brain dead, like cheesy, cheap, easy, and stuff like that, and he'll anchor that so that anybody who plays those characters and stuff like that is now have a label to them, and everybody takes that on. That's called anchoring. These are his tactics. It has nothing to do with the character. This is how he manipulates people, and you can see it. It's in his, in this fucking video, he was even like, it's just like with Devil Jin, he was talking about Devil Jin's down 3+4 is cans, and he was like, yeah, this is a 15 frame launcher medium, even the pros use it. Yes, dumb fuck, only as a whiff punisher only, failing to mention that it's also a medium that if you block it, you get fucking launch punished, so they don't just throw it out when the other opponent whiffs, or they block a move where they can use it. Yeah, that's when they use it. Then he said Kazuya doesn't have a fucking move like that. You dumb fuck. Yes, they do. Yes, he does. His Wall Rising 2 Gut Wrencher, exact same fucking thing. Medium, hard hitting that you only use as whiff punisher. And if you block it, it's launch punishable. See, these are the fucking tactics that he uses. See, the differences between Adrian and me is I don't lie. Yeah, I know that's kind of hard to imagine, but I'm going to tell you this. When I was a little, you got to love the logic of little kids. When I was a little kid, I noticed something, that when I lied, one lie led into another that led into another, which was very confusing for me, and I didn't want to actually think about that stuff. And then when I told the truth, it contradicted every single freaking thing I'd said before, and I would get busted. The truth always exposed me, and I couldn't stand it. It made me feel awful. So when I was a little kid, you got to love the logic of little kids, though. When I was a little kid, I noticed that when I was lying, it was because I didn't know something or because I didn't want to tell somebody something. And it's normally is I didn't want to tell somebody something. Then it dawned on me, why am I lying about this? Why don't I just, when I get in that situation, why don't I just tell the person I don't want to tell them? I'll never forget the first time I tried that. And I told them, I don't want to tell you. Because I got there and I remember thinking about a lie and I was like, no. I was just like, I don't want to tell you. And the way they reacted, I'll never forget. They were like, oh, okay. So I've used that my entire life. When there's something I don't want to tell somebody, I will either change the subject, dodge it, or whatever. I'll just be quiet. But if I'm put in a corner and I'm directly asked something, I'll tell them. I just don't want to tell you. I'm not going to lie about it, but I don't want to tell you. Most of the time, people respect that. So I've used that my entire life. I don't lie. Adrian, on the other hand, is different. Most people are not like that. Most people lie on a regular basis, and because I've studied psychology and body language and stuff like that, there are different categories of liars and where they fall under. Now, Adrian would definitely fall under the narcissistic liar. And now check this out. Tell me if this doesn't sound familiar. The narcissistic liar demands attention, yet the lies that he or she creates always deny responsibility and accountability for the actions of the narcissist. The narcissist is driven entirely by ego. Rather than logic, he will defend the ego at all costs. His type of personality never admits to making a mistake, even when the mistake could be growth opportunity for your PR team. He or she is often a people's person, seeking attention when things go right, bragging or exaggerating accomplishments while being quick to place blame and criticize others. Look for childish, deviant behaviors in the narcissistic liar, scapegoating other employees or creating a web of unlikely mishaps or victimizations. Does that sound familiar? Okay, so there's another big difference between Adrian and me, and this is very important because it's interesting that Adrian and me both started in the game the exact same way. We both started with Tekken 1. We both played with our brother. My main started off as Kazuya's. His started off with King. He picked up Kazuya maybe a game or so after that. But we both started off the exact same way. But we took two totally different paths. And this is the reason his view of Tekken is so narrow and the way he looks at the game differently than mine is. And I want you to visually see this. Because it isn't just me that he has a different view from. It's about the entire Tekken community. And I want you to see this and visually see it. See, part of Adrian's charm and stuff is he actually is acting. You got to understand that when you're looking at him, when you watch one of his videos, it feels like he's talking to you. That's what it feels like. So that's why you trust him and stuff like that. And he does do some good. He does do some good things. Not everything Adrian does is bad. The only thing he does bad that this has got to fucking stop is attacking characters and then attacking people who disagree with him. This is where the problem is. But he does do a bunch of good stuff also. Would never say he didn't. I mean, that's why I liked him, man. He's pretty cool dude, has a good personality, but that is not he's not actually talking to you. I want to put this into perspective for you. What you see here, let's pull it back so you get an understanding of what he's actually doing. He's actually sitting in a room by himself looking at a computer screen with a camera pointed at him, just reading words. He's not talking to you. He doesn't know you. He doesn't see your voice. He doesn't give a fuck about you. All right? That has been his entire Tekken journey, is sitting in front of a TV or a screen by himself. Now I want to show you the difference between his journey and my journey and the rest of the Tekken community, and why we have two completely different views, even though we both started off the exact same. Watch this.
Jump kick to the face didn't land. That should have been too far out.
One more time.
Don't forget to set up your game up.
Am I again a Dwayne? What am I? What am I? You got your ass whipped.
You like that shit? He's Italian. Making pizzas with that shit. You like that? Pizzas, amigo. Oh, sir. Pizza. Look at this. Here we go. Look at this. Look at this. Don't do that. Don't ever do that.
이제
저기요 여러분들 아까 게임을
네.
이렇게 하기 전에 이렇게 하면 어떻게 합니까? 그리고 당신은 있잖아요 아무리 그렇다고 해도 샤워 대 샤워
They did like a surprise birthday party for me and everything. Yeah, we walk in and they're singing the song. And they have
Mark, man, how you feeling this morning, Mark?
I am feeling amazing. I am super excited here at CEO, ready to see.
See, Michael, you didn't realize this, but everybody over here was having fun and having a good time and enjoying themselves and their characters and stuff like this. But Adrian sits by himself and he's become a liar, a manipulator, and he's become a bully. And he only gives a fuck about his opinion and the way people think about him. And you actually exposed this with the chess move you did when you buffed Kazuya's Hell Suite. So what did he do when his character he used ended up getting a bad reputation like he does to other people? He dropped him. I didn't drop him. I didn't drop Kazuya. I've been using that motherfucker since part 1. Do you know exactly what happened? It was interesting. You know what happened right after that update? My friends came over a couple days later for Tekken night. All my friends, they have to play Kazuya and Jin every week. They've been doing it for fucking years. You know what they said? Well, yeah, it's dumb as fuck, but it doesn't affect the way we play it all. But he drops the character. Man, good luck having... I'm glad you dropped him, Adrian. Have fun with fuck you, man, by the way. See, I'm going to break down exactly what Adrian does and what he did and why everybody's so fucking pissed off nowadays, especially with Season 3. Because, like, okay, with Jin, he starts off knowing Jin's difficult, and but then he goes to Evo, he gets beat by a Jin player, he comes back and has a fucking mission to take Jin down. Now, what you guys don't know, that the thing that started with Adrian and me actually started in his comments. And because I understand mirroring and stuff like that, I know he was reading my comments because he would mirror some of the exact words I was using in his comments, and he would answer back with YouTube videos. Apparently, I fucking got under his skin. Adrian, you're the one who brought out the monster, and you fucking know it. I don't give a fuck if you deny it or not, because the truth is right there. They can actually go in the comments and start seeing it. But what happened is, it seemed like he started to catch on and get some sense to him. I guess he was going through a rough time or whatever like that. But when he started to act a little bit better, I was like, well, I'm going to throw Adrian a bone. See, my very first video was not the one where I said tier list are bullshit. My very first video was a private video that I sent to Adrian because I was sending him some content that actually, he doesn't even realize this, I was doing this to help him out, to help repair some of the damage that he was doing in the Tekken community, because he kept attacking Jin, because he had this fucking, he had it in his head that he wanted to take that character down. So when he started acting like he had more sense, most people didn't know this, but in season 2, okay, the $100 combo was extremely difficult, and everybody kept trying to do it. But nobody had made a video on this, and the Tekken community didn't know this. Gym players were struggling with electric juggles unless they could do the microdash juggle consistently. Now, in season 3, they just do the new move, and it's only 1 less damage. But in season 2, all you had to do to end the combo is back 3, forward 2, and it was only 2 less damage. That's it. Now, if you need a wall carry, you just modify it. Do electric, hook fist, back 3, forward 1, back 2, 1. Or if you need a stronger push, you do electric, hook fist, back 3, forward 1, 2, and it pushes them farther, of course. But you didn't have to do the microdash juggle like Cherry Berry Mango if you were struggling with this, but nobody had done a video, so I sent it to Adrian saying, hey, you could use this as content to help gym players out. He watched it, because the only way you could watch that is if you had the link to it. He was the only one I sent the link to. Not only that, a couple days later, just like mirroring, he does a video about Law. Now, I use Law because I like the way it looks as the dummy in the demonstration I showed him. He watches it, and then check out this mirror of the 2 people he picks, and then instead decides to talk about Law. Now, after the season 3 dropped, what was his reply when Jin got nerfed? It was this.
I've been screaming for nerfs a long time. Very strong in season 1, perfect in season 2. You probably remember standing 4 and forward 4, down back 4, up forward 2, forward forward 2. Well, I mean, yeah, you name it. You know, it's all here. It's all here. You know, it's too much to count the amazing moves of Jin. But now, so yeah, it seems like the developers heard us all, or heard one particular individual. Hello, gym players. No, just kidding. That was a joke. No ill feelings towards you guys. Nah, that was also a joke. Oh, hello, gym players. Oh, hello, gym players.
So I was like, okay. So I took that part of his personality and I put it in my back pocket. And I've been saving that, Adrian, just in case you pull some fucking dumb shit like you have been. This is chess. This is checkers. This is how I play Tekken and take down opponents. The same way. I save it for when I need it. And then, so what I did in response to that is I got on, I went on Instagram and I DM'd Cherry Berry Mango. I was like, listen, and I told him, I was like, the gym players in the Tekken community, they're struggling, they're hurt, they're angry that their character got nerfed for no reason. But most of them don't know you don't need a microdash anymore to do the $100 combo. Maybe you could show them the benefits of both. Within not even 24 hours of that, me sending that to him, Cherry Berry Mango made the video, did exactly what we talked about, and then expanded on it and showed all the cool new things that you could do with Jin. See, that is the personality of a pro who understands the game is about the mind games. It's not about the characters. He was trying to lift everybody up. That shows his personality, and he will succeed more at life and in Tekken more than Adrian will, because Adrian was looking out only for his own interest, for his ego, his entire thing. He doesn't give a fuck about the community. He doesn't give a fuck about anything, and he proved it like that because he didn't give a fuck about helping gym players. He just wanted to take that character down. This shows his personality and what he's like, and what he does is he'll take down. And this is why everybody's angry. Michael Murray, this is the important part that you need to listen, because you listen to this idiot. And it anchored everybody's anger for him. It hurt your reputation by listening to him. Because what he does is he'll go out and he'll pick on a fucking character. And then when these people get hurt and stuff like that, because now they're getting called brain dead and fucking cheesy and stuff like that, and they push back, he will attack them back. But he's always the one who initiates it. He's turned into a bully. You've turned into a bully, Adrian. And the reason I know that is it takes one to know one. Yes, I've been a bully my entire life, but I only bully other bullies. I'm that guy. When I see a bully, I go bully that motherfucker. See, everybody else I try to uplift, and I look out for them and try to get them up. Or if somebody can't protect themselves, I protect them. I'm looking out for the entire Tekken community like you used to do, but now you've turned into a bully. But when I see another bully, my mouth waters. I'm like, finally, I can cut loose and have some fucking fun. And this shit's fun. And Michael Murray, why everybody's angry is because you listened to a kid like this, and what you did is you anchored yourself to him. Everybody over here was just having fun, minding their own fucking business. And then this kid who lies, manipulates, and bullies says something about their character, and then you can continually listen to him and start dragging people fucking down. And it's pissing them off. I was minding my own fucking business at my house, bought my game, bought my stuff, had my friends coming over once a week, enjoying my character. Have for years we've been doing this shit. Then this kid comes along, starts talking shit about my character. As soon as you get the reins, you listen to him, not knowing what he was like. That, I understand that. I get that. You wanted to escalate the game to something better. You thought he knew what he was talking about because he's smooth as fuck. But you listened to him. And what did you do? My down back 4 that I used to launch off counter hit, that I've been using for like 10 fucking years, instantly taken away. Listen to this kid. And now every time I see a down back 4 or I see somebody drop a forward 4 juggle, I know the reason behind it, and it fucking pisses me off. Now multiply that times thousands. Now do the same thing with fucking Devil Jin. Multiply that times 1,000. With Miguel on his Magic 4 and his savage uppercut thing. Now multiply that times 1,000. This is why everybody's pissed off. Why would all these people put in all this fucking work? And the pros have been saying this. Arslan Ash has been saying this. Stop focusing on the characters. He's the one who talks about characters. And by the way, Adrian, you don't ever get to ask for a fucking thing again. Alright? They listen to you for everything for Season 3, and it's been a fucking train wreck. Michael Murray, this is the reason Harada has ignored him for years when he cries like a little bitch when it comes to the characters. Alright? Harada ignored him for years, and this is also the same reason that Harada wanted to leave frame data out of it, to avoid this kind of fucking escalation and bullshit from happening. Now, I disagree with him that you can have frame data in there, but you also have somebody like Harada at the top who understands not to listen to this kind of fucking bullshit. And then you can also keep it in there. But this is the things he was trying to avoid. And this is what's been under the hood and you don't understand. Has everybody so fucking angry as you listening to a lion, a manipulator, and a bully. And that's why everybody's pissed off. Because it's not about the characters, it's about the mind game. It's in a game of chess. And that's been getting fucked up. And see, I'm going to give you a quick visual representation of this, and then I'm going to show you how we fix this whole situation. Okay, so this would be Adrian's opinion on a tier list, right? But then, and then this would be the actual data of win-loss ratio that even he posted. See, now this is why everybody, even Harada, and all the pros tolerate his shit, because he does do good content like this. It's just when he attacks people, then that's when he becomes a fucking problem. But when he does good shit like this, that's why we don't put up with his shit. But, okay. So, you got his opinion versus reality. So you guys remember when the guy who uses this dude said this dude was the best character in the game. Then he changed his mind and said this character was the best character in the game. Guy that's getting his fucking ass kicked. Now, you see how there's only one person who's losing more than Jin players. That is Yoshimitsu. And Adrian fucking knows this. Look at his Jin. This is right before he finally got him to Tekken God Prod. Look how many fucking wins he has. Not counting the losses, and look at everybody above it. Then what did he say when he finally got it? It was his biggest struggle. He even got demoted at that rank right before 3 times. And this is the guy who said that this guy was the best fucking character in the game. What he did is manipulated everybody by taking the strength of every move that Jin had, ignoring the things that make the move, ignoring the weaknesses of the moves that make him balanced, and then attacked and drug him down. He attacked because he's also attacking the players behind it. And see, Adrian, you hated Lily players till you met Looney Lily. You hated Law players till you met Rip. You constantly attack these people until you constantly attack these characters and forgetting that there's real people behind them. Michael Murray, this is why everybody's fucking pissed off. Why are they going to put work into this, into their characters, when this kid has an opinion and it's time to tear him down? It's fucking bullshit. And especially like with Jin players. Now, I get it. Somebody like me and Avery, we're fucking dickheads and can get under people's skins. I understand that. But what about somebody like Cherry Bear Mango, who's a complete class act? What about Sajda, or whatever the dude's name is? And what about Gajda? Huh? What about him? A guy who takes this character and puts all that hard work into a difficult character and almost takes down the world champion, and he does this with 3 fucking fingers, and then you get it in your mind to go and attack his character to get it nerfed. You're a fucking dick. And I'm not talking about like one of those funny asshole dicks like Eris. No, that's just a fucking dick move. And this is why everybody's fucking angry. And this is what's under the hood. And this is the things you didn't know about Michael when you listened to him. But now that you know it and it's out in the open, we can start working together to get this fixed. Because if you look at these lists, opinion versus reality, you'll start to realize that it has nothing to do with the characters. It has everything to do with what player picks them. And players that are really fucking good like difficult characters because they know the simplicity of what the mind games is, and they want to test themselves with these difficult characters that they enjoy and love. That's why everybody's pissed off. And this is something that needs to get fixed. Okay, as promised, Michael and Namco, I'm going to tell y'all exactly how you fix this whole situation. Because just like, because I think in chess and I'm able to see things, you know, when you make a certain move, it leads to certain outcomes. That's why months ago I told you we would be in this exact same situation. But I also know the moves that you can take to go into the right direction business-wise and to get the game to where it needs to be. And the reason I'm willing to work with you, Michael, and the team is because we both have the same goal, to make the game good for everybody to have fun. Because the #1 goal is everybody having fun. All right? We need to stop focusing so much on these fucking tournaments. 5 million copies sold. How many of those people do you think are at tournaments? Do the math. Probably not even 10%. Stop ignoring your major fucking basis of what makes the game so popular and good. All right? So, how do you fix this situation we're in where right now, Michael, nothing you do is working and everybody's complaining, right? We have to fix that problem. But first, you have to repair the damage that you did before by listening to Adrian, and that's why everybody's so fucking pissed off. So, first, what you would have to do is start unnerfing the characters that you unjustly nerf. Things like Jin's forward 4 and his down back 4. Easy. Done. Characters that are good where they're at, you leave them alone. If the character isn't broke, don't fix it. Okay? Like Josie players, they're happy right now. Brian players, they're happy right now. You leave those characters alone. Right? You don't have to fuck with every character. You just undo the things that piss people off. Like Devil Gems, up forward 4 follow-up. His frame trap from down forward 4. Those things, give those back to those players. And then leave the rest of the things alone. Just like, just think about it more like a beefy season 2 with all the new moves and all the fucking good upgrades, and just give that shit back to the characters that you took away. One, that'll help repair the damage. Okay? That's step 1. Now, the way it's delivered is also, and this is just business 101. The way you deliver this is also important. No more fucking cliff notes when you're giving it to the Tekken community, because that's where they attack you. When you show them the updates before, the people who hate certain characters will see that and they attack that. They attack that and then they attack you. So you don't do that anymore. And also your wording has been awful. You've been saying a balance update, which subconsciously in everybody's thinking that would be implied that the game wasn't balanced before, which is bullshit. The game was fucking balanced. It's just the opinion of fucking other people who don't like certain characters. You don't say that. You say update. Okay? Update. Not balance. Update. Don't give them the cliff notes, because when you update it and you do whatever the fuck you want to make the game fair again, what will happen is they will go in there and they will start looking for what you did. Like a scavenger hunt. And when they find it, they get excited that they found what it is, and they make YouTube videos and stuff like that. That's step 1, you fix it. Now what that'll do is it'll make everybody individually happy because their character finally got where they wanted it to be. And they're happy again, right? Okay, but also, just like in chess, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen next. There's going to be a huge fucking backlash. That's okay. It's nothing to worry about. It's part of the fucking process. Because they'll be happy with their characters, but they'll be pissed off about other people's characters getting good. But this is the problem that you created that you have to sort out. Allow the backlash to happen. Let them bitch and moan and cry and complain, because you will work this in your favor. I'll explain how you do this. So, you unfuck what you fucked from Season 2 to Season 3. And you don't even tell them, you don't give them the cliff notes, you just say update and you just fucking do it. There will be a fucking huge backlash, and they'll cry and bitch and moan and complain, and they'll make a bunch of videos of it. And see, there's a thing about like negative press. Now, negative press does not work if you're doing something wrong and you get negative press. That actually drags your reputation down. But if you're doing something right and you get negative press, it actually helps you. I've actually used this. Adrian's been fucking playing into my hands 1,000 times over. He's been giving me good negative press, so it's been getting the word out. And fucking, I've been using it. Donald Trump uses this shit all the fucking time. So when you actually do something good, this will be good, because it will stir up. Because I'm telling you guys, you don't even realize it. The entire world's watching of what happens between what's going down here. They don't realize, and I think you understand this, Michael, is that we're on the same team and we both want the same goal. That's why I'm here to help. So other people will watch this, and it's going to attract people to the game, especially when the people who got hurt and pissed off actually have their shit back. And then the way you deal with somebody like Adrian, because he's going to lose his fucking mind like a brat. You ignore him exactly like Harada did. Now, when you start ignoring him, it'll start bringing the anger down. And people will feel safe to actually start using their character and stuff like that. But also, another thing that you have to do is you've already started, and I would have suggested this in the first place. When the backlash happens, you guys have to go radio silent, and then you lock the game. No PR, no nothing. You lock it, and you let them lose their fucking mind. And they will do the advertising for you. Don't talk to them. You let them do it for you. It will, I'm telling you, it will bring hype to the game. Everybody will focus on this. You use it to your advantage. This is just business 101. And another business just pulled this shit off. And this is like John Talks and Geeks and Gamer, thank you for this one, with the Sonic the Hedgehog. When they first had the trailer and they're like, that doesn't look like Sonic. They listened to him, they fixed it, and what happened? They knocked that movie knocked it out of the park and became, I think it was one of the last hits before quarantine started. So this is guaranteed to work. I promise you, it'll work. But you have to lock the game after that and then let things settle down. And when they start settling down, people will start focusing on the game again and the gameplay. And then they know that their characters are safe from little fucking pricks like Adrian. And then, okay, and then what you do is you refocus your energy on expanding the game. When the Tekken World Tour opens, advertising, pushing it, trying to make those venues bigger, which will bring more hype to the game. Because the number one goal, Michael, is what you want. You want the number one spot in EVO. That's what you want. A lot of games are fighting to get in. Tekken should be number one, and it has the potential to do that. That's what you focus on, and you let the game be. Let them do it. Oh, yeah, and one more thing. This is very important. Do not listen to them when they start talking about Tekken 8. Because what they're trying to do right there, that's another form of manipulation. Like little bratty children, when they figure out they can't get their way right now, that's what they're trying to do with Tekken 8. Is trying to fucking manipulate you again. And the Tekkens don't matter. I just showed it to you. The Tekkens, because all it is a game of chess. Tekken like 5, 6, 7. That's like having a wood Tekken, a wood chessboard, a glass chessboard, or a metal chessboard. All it is the look. The gameplay is what's important. That's what is so hype, is the mind games that happen and the stories between the players. That's what makes this game hype. That's what you should focus on. And that's how you fix this whole situation. Now that's just to fix it. But if you want to maintain it, I am actually willing to work with you and the team. You didn't expect me to say that, did you? Michael, I would have already emailed you, and I'd call you if I can and do it directly, because I'm tired of this fucking... I am so fucking tired of this medium. I'm a person who likes to do things face to face, and it's a shame that, Adrian, we're not going to EVO, because you will find out that I'm exactly like this in real life. I would actually walk up to you, to your face, and be like, hey, stop fucking everything up. You're being an idiot. Now let's go to the bar, I'll buy you a beer. I'm having water because I don't drink. I never drink. I mean, if it looks like piss, smells like piss, and tastes like piss, I'm not drinking it. But I'll buy you a beer. Maybe when you're drunk, you'll have some fucking sense in you. But yeah, this is how I am in real life. And by the way, Michael, when I say go radio silence, go hang out with your friends and family. Ignore it. Do not read it. Remember, this is all it is. It's a picture on the phone. Don't let this fuck with your emotions. I don't even read my comments. Now, sometimes I'll check it every now. I think I check it once. But I don't give those negative idiots the time of day. Now, all the guys who've been doing positive comments, I'm sorry. Thank you for that. I'm sorry I didn't get to respond to your messages, but I do appreciate all y'all. Sorry, but it's not worth my energy to see all that fucking idiot, stupid shit in my fucking comments. Because I practice what I preach, and I'm showing you how to get past this until, it's fucking over. But anyway, thank you guys for that. Okay, with the Akuma problems that's been plaguing this game since he got in here, it's an easy fix. I'm going to tell you exactly how you can fix it. And again, it doesn't matter where the information comes from. As long as you do it, you're still going to get the reward of it. Okay, so the problem is his high, medium, and low poke juggles. That shouldn't be in Tekken. He can have the high poke juggle as long as it's counter hit only. Exactly like the Steve and both the Kings. That way he cannot punish basically every high, medium move that he blocks in the game when he has meter. Just remove it, counter hit only. Problem solved. Remove his dick jab combo. But to give him something in return, you could give him another medium that launches. Let his uppercut launch. You remove the dick jab, and you gave him another medium launcher that falls within the rules of Tekken. And you can actually use like in the rules of Tekken. And then his low poke, his down 3 juggle, remove that. And then you could give him one in return like his down 4. Even though it's a good move already, on counter hit. If you want to give him another low juggler, let his down 4 on counter hit juggle. You removed the stuff that shouldn't be in there and replaced it with things that fall within the rules of Tekken. Now, I don't give a fuck if he has his jumping shit. I mean, you know, having a character that has like a unique property, that's okay, that's fine. But the high, medium, and low poke juggle has been the problem with him. That shit needs to be removed because that's not chess. That's checkers in chess. The problem that's been going on, and like with Leroy's staff, move it to where it goes to when he's in rage only. You can keep it, just put it in rage. See, the problem that's been going on is like trying to reinvent chess. Like trying to put a new mechanic in chess that just doesn't make sense. It's still about chess, and I'm all about having new stuff. There's a lot of new stuff in Tekken, like armor moves. They're fucking awesome. Like rage arts, rage drives, slow motion. This is all new stuff that's in Tekken. I'm okay with new stuff, but it has to be calculated the right time, right kind of changes that still fall within the rules of the game that's like chess. But that's how you fix those problems. And again, I'm telling you, I'm not here to compromise or split the difference. I'm telling you exactly how you fix this. All right? If you do it halfway or compromise, no side of the party is going to be happy. All right? And the game won't reach its full potential. Fix the things that were unjustly nerfed. Expect the backlash, go radio silent, and lock the game. So there's be no more crazy changes. Right? Lock the game. Get rid of the shit that shouldn't be in there, like fucking the high, medium, low poke juggles from Akuma. Alright? Replace him with other things so he's still a strong character. And then start focusing on the venues and pushing the advertising to sell more copies and make the game bigger and more popular. That's how you fix the game. I'm telling you, I'm giving you the formula. And I'd love to talk with you directly. Like email, if I had your email, call, whatever. I don't give a fuck. You didn't expect that, now did you? Nobody did. But yes, to fix a problem, you gotta be willing to go all the fucking way. I'm willing to go all the fucking way when I go after a fucking problem. Okay, and now to Adrian. Bro. I just gave you... Okay, now we're playing chess, and it's your turn to make a move. But I just gave you two options. You have a 50-50 mix-up now. Now you get two options of what you're going to do. Because I don't have to fucking worry about you anymore. The reason I did this and laced into you is, one, you started this shit. Two, I'm tired of you being a fucking bully to people. It's none of your fucking business how anybody else plays their character. We chose one of the hardest fucking characters in the game. That was our choice. It's none of your fucking business how anybody else plays their characters. Leave them the fuck alone, and I'm tired of you being a bully. So, I don't have to worry about you anymore. Why? Because I just gave them the tools to deal with you when you try to fucking bully somebody. One, I exposed your tactics of how you try to you lie and manipulate, try to take down their characters. And two, I showed them how to protect themselves from you. And I showed them what your weakness is. Your weakness is your fucking ego. And when anybody goes after that, that's when you get butthurt and pissed off and triggered. So, you have two options. Now, you can continue to go down this and be very destructive and self-destructive. But you're going to lose. You're playing into my hands. See, there's a verse in the Bible that says, truth stands the test of time, lies are soon exposed. And just like dominoes, all I have to do is press it over. And right now, all I have to do is have patience, because I tell the truth and you lie. And eventually, the tides are going to turn in my favor, and they've already started. That's why you're getting so fucking butthurt. All right, so I don't have to worry about you. Now, you continue to go down this path, and I don't have to worry about it. Tekken community will eventually turn on you because I just showed them what you do. Now, I don't give a fuck what you do with your content at all. You actually do content and you're entertaining. But when you act like a fucking brat and you attack people and you have hurt the Tekken community and you manipulated fucking Michael and all this shit started because of you, that's why I did this. To expose the bullshit that you do. Now, you could go that way. That's one move you can do. And then there's another move. You quit attacking people cold turkey like a bad habit like smoking. You stop lying about it. You start self-focusing on making yourself better and then uplifting the Tekken community. And then, just like family, we welcome you back with fucking open arms, and you're on the side of us trying to work toward a solution together. Not for your fucking ego, but together. Part of a family, fucking dickheaded brothers and stuff like that. That's just how it fucking works. You have two options. You could go this way, or you could go that way. This is the 50-50 mix-up, and you get to fucking do it. Okay, finally, one last thing, and I have been wanting to get this off my chest for so fucking long. Adrian, stop asking for ugly fucking women in Tekken. What the fuck is wrong with you? Michael, do you understand and see why Harada's ignored him for years? God, dude, what the... I don't like hot women. I don't like big boobs in my face. I want fucking interesting, old, fat, fucking flat-chested women that would... they come in, they say, you need to call me ma'am. Dude, what the fuck is wrong with you? I like boobs. I like hot women. Well, Jeremy, you're pretty shallow. Yeah, I'm shallow as fuck. Let's see. A woman who looks good, that means she's healthy, probably symmetrical, actually takes care of herself. She takes care of herself. That kind of says something about her personality, that she'll take care of other things in her life. Yeah, I'm shallow as fuck. I like hot women, and I like big boobs, and I like them in my face. Let's see. Get my ass kicked by a hot chick or a fucking ugly old hag that you keep asking for. I'll take option A. You can have option B. Dude, if we get something like that, you're dropping fuck you, man. You're never touching Kazuya, man. Kazuya again, and that's going to be your main, because nobody else wants that fucking disgusting shit. God, what the... Dude, you have completely turned into a fucking dad. You might as well shrink wrap your dick, put a bow on it, and put it on the shelf, because I guess you're done with it. God, man. Dude, what the fuck? I mean, what do you tell your girlfriend? Sorry, honey. You know, fuck sex. I mean, I only find ugly women interesting now. I'm going to go into my room by myself with my computer... Oh my god, it just dawned on me. Oh my... Do you guys... Okay, get this visual. Do you guys fucking realize that he's sitting at his computer, looking at his screen in this room by himself? This is probably the same fucking room, same computer he looks at porn on. And he's got a stick between his legs and he keeps jerking around, making... Oh my god. You guys have fun with that fucking visual. Jeez. Yeah. Well, anyway, moving on. All jokes aside. Adrian, you now have two choices. The next chess move is yours. Either continue to be part of the problem or be part of the solution. And I just want you to remember, this was me taking it easy right now. I'm not even trying right now. Keep that in mind.